So that's really extraordinary because I think most able-bodied people couldn't be able to do it. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one. I used to be, not so much anymore, because there's a guy called Gregory Irons in the States. There's, of course, Zach Gowen of WWE fame, who's a single-leg amputee. So there is a small collection of established disabled professional wrestlers in the world. I've been in and around the business now for 17 years. God, I feel old. And I've done everything from wrestling to managing to promoting to booking. I've done commentating today. I've done anything and everything.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I love the business. You know, I've been thrown around, battered, bruised. I've fought WWE legends.
really.
Yeah, I've been in the ring with head shrinker Samu, who is obviously related to everybody's favourite Hollywood movie star, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Been in the ring with Doink the Clown. Well, one of the Doink the Clowns, there are many.
Yeah.
You know, shared locker rooms with a lot of the guys that are now going up to the WWE roster, as have a lot of the experienced guys here. Guys like Daniel Bryan, shared locker rooms with him. Shared locker rooms with a lot of people and travel a lot of the world.
But do you think the motivation that you have and because I'm sure even to start is harder for you, the point of entry.
Yeah, I mean, I basically grew up loving wrestling. I was sort of 16, 17, and a guy that went to the local training school, which is where Win came out of, long history, said, "You're into wrestling, why don't you come to training?" So I was like, "What? I live in Northampton, are you serious? There's a wrestling training school? We live in the middle of nowhere?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I went along, and the then head trainer, Jem MTX Brown, I went up to him and I said, "I want to be a wrestler." And he said, "You want to be a wrestler?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." He said, "Can you bump?" And I went, "What?" Because I was green, I didn't know. He was like, "Can you fall over?" I went, "That I can do." I've mastered falling over. So basically, for the next 6 weeks, all he did was have me do break falls and safety falls and bumps for 6 weeks. Then after that, because I proved myself after doing essentially 12 hours of falling over, he said, "I'll train you to be a wrestler." He said, "I wanted to push you because you're going to have a harder journey than anybody else in the business.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to want to take you seriously." And yeah, I'm still here 17 years later.
I think most people though would look at you and your condition and think you want to be a wrestler, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that motivation, and what made you want to kind of get in there and punish your body and push it to its limit?
I grew up watching wrestling, and I'm a professional actor anyway.
Okay.
But I grew up watching wrestling, and I just wanted to do it. I had the bug, you know, and to get the chance to do it. And you know, there were doubters and naysayers, and wrestlers were scared to wrestle me because they were scared I'd break.
Yeah.
You know, all the usual stuff. Guys refused to wrestle me because they thought I was breaking the wrestling business. You know, but I always argue that I bring something different to the wrestling business, because I tell a story in a different way, and that's what the wrestling business is all about, is telling stories.
So you've been involved in some way for 17 years now.
Yes.
Your body's probably been through some punishment.
Oh yes.
Would you say worth it?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. If I wasn't involved in wrestling, I wouldn't have done half the things I've done. I mean, I get professional work as an actor now because of my history in wrestling. I'm currently involved in an advertising campaign for a well-known wheelchair manufacturer where they had me wrestling in the advertising campaign. So, you know, I physically have got work because I'm a professional wrestler. And it also, it's a tremendous brotherhood, but it lets you develop skills as well, personal skills, controlling an audience. You know, from a technical standpoint, there's no business quite like it. And it's worth every sore day, every injury. You know, I've been fortunate. I've never, touch wood, had any serious injuries, but I've come home battered and bruised and had L-shaped bruises on my backside from where head shrinker Samu's taken one of these and smacked me on the ass with it as hard as he possibly could. Left the bruise for 3 weeks. Thanks, Sam. So yeah, you know, I've come home battered and bruised, but when you hear a crowd get as loud as the crowd did at some points tonight, pain doesn't matter. That's what you're there to do, and to be able to entertain people, and for those 10 minutes, 2.5 hours, however long you're performing for, to have them forget all their troubles for that 10 minutes, 2 hours, whatever, is worth every ache and pain, because for those 10 minutes you're the centre of that person's world.
Yeah.
And that's a trip that nothing else can buy, you know?
So, I mean, I'm just like a bit stunned like this, hearing you talk about it, and obviously the things that you do is like very brave. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, do you think of it in that way, that you are a role model to people?
No. If I am, brilliant, but that's not what I got in the business to do. If anything, you know, when it comes to performing, I prefer being the bad guy, because nobody expects it.
Yeah.
I find being the good guy really, really boring. Because everybody just goes, oh, look at the poor disabled guy, quick, go win, go! No. Make me the bad guy, I will make you hate me in 10 minutes. Because that's much more fun. If I do inspire people, brilliant, but that's not my goal. My goal is to entertain people. That's what every wrestler's goal should be, to tell a decent story and entertain people. And that's what I do for a living.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks a lot for speaking to me.
No worries, dude.
That's all right, thanks.